Everyone seems to love an underdog. Many of our favorite movies are about those who overcame adversity and impossible odds to succeed. Think of the Rocky series, or Karate Kid, or Miracle on Ice, or if you're in a mood to cry, Rudy. These are all stories of someone who overcame what seemed to be impossible odds against them. It is something we can all relate to, as sometimes it just feels like the odds of life are against us. Many are certainly feeling that way this year as we have battled the deadly COVID virus and all the effects, including the devastation, economic and otherwise, that stem from what is meant to be the cure. It is easy to question in the midst of such trials, where is God? And yet, there is no better answer from God to that question than the Advent season, which culminates on Christmas Day, the day we celebrate the birth or the coming of Jesus on earth. Christmas is the ultimate reminder that God has not forgotten us, that there is no distance he will not bridge, nor price he will not pay to answer our cry. God on that day more than 2,000 years ago became man, a statement impossible to truly comprehend. And in a prophecy given to Israel more than 700 years before the birth of Jesus, God reveals his heart in sending us his son. But you, O Bethlehem Ephrathah, who are too little to be among the clans of Judah, from you shall come forth for me one who is to be ruler in Israel, whose coming forth is from of old, from ancient days. God loves an underdog. God could have had Jesus born anywhere on earth, but he chose a little town amongst the tribe of Judah, and at a time when Israel's power was greatly diminished and it was a servant state of the Roman Empire. God's message is clear. Jesus came to the small, the weak, the forgotten, the discarded. As Paul writes in 1 Corinthians 1:26, "For consider your calling, brothers. Not many of you were wise according to worldly standards. Not many were powerful. Not many were of noble birth. But God chose what is foolish in the world to shame the wise. God chose what is weak in the world to shame the strong. God chose what is low and despised in the world, even things that are not, to bring to nothing the things that are, so that no human being might boast in the presence of God." Are you feeling small and weak in this season? Take courage, for God has not forgotten you. Rather, he has chosen you, just as he chose Bethlehem, if you will receive him. We often think of the story of Jesus' birth as being about there being no room at the inn in Bethlehem. But that is not the truth. The lesson is that the people of Bethlehem made room, even though it was crowded. Will you make room for Jesus in your life this season? He knows your hurts. He knows your pains. He knows how weak and small you feel. In Matthew 11:28, he responds to all of our cries. Come, all who labor and are heavy laden, and he promises, I will give you rest. Advent means the coming, and this is the season in which we celebrate the coming of Jesus. God did the impossible 2,000 years ago by coming as a little baby to that little town in Judah. And all he asks is that you come and meet him there, and he will give you rest.